As a delivery associate, it's very likely you're going to be stuck somewhere in the worst conditions. You'll have no cell reception and you have a flat tire. It's easy to change a flat tire, nothing to get stressed out about, and use a tote to keep yourself from getting muddy. Each of you should know how to change a tire on either the Ram ProMaster or the Ford Transit 250, and I'm going to make sure that you do know how, because it will happen to you. So it's better to be safe, to be prepared, and to have an idea of how to do it and to be able to reference this video when you need it. Here's how to change a tire on a Ford Transit 250. All right, first thing you're going to want to do is pull the e-brake. The location of the spare tire kit is located just below the passenger seat in the wheel well. What you want to do is pull this out, pops out. Don't worry, you're not going to break it. And here's the kit. There's a jack, and then there's extension bars. Underneath the vehicle, in the back, is where the spare tire is located. So, to lower the spare tire on the back of the vehicle, and there's a little circle that's between both doors, and it has a little rubber grommet on it, all right? You're going to want to peel this rubber grommet off and get a look at that. That is how you're going to lower it. You stick the tire iron in there, and as you spin it, the tire below comes down. You are going to get dirty. If it's really wet outside, you can grab a tote from inside the van and lay it down so that you don't get too filthy. But most likely, it's going to be the worst conditions. Raining, muddy, and you're going to get dirty. Don't let that bother you. It's not that big of a deal. You can crawl under here. We have two wires. Release this piece here and twist it to the left. And it disconnected. Now, this piece is much like a bike lock. So you'll have to twist it down and then pop it out. Just like that. Move that piece out of the way. And now you can pull the tire out. Spare tire is a full-size spare. All right, you can use this thin piece and a pen or something narrow to just simply pry the hubcap off. You're going to use the tire iron to loosen each one of these lug nuts before you jack the vehicle up. You might have to throw some weight into it, but you just want to get them loose enough so that when you get the tire up in the air, they're easier for you to turn. If you don't loosen each one, then when you get the tire up in the air, the tire is just going to spin when you try to remove the lug nuts. Each of the lug nuts are loosened. We can now jack up the vehicle. I'm going to show you the jacking points. If you're changing a front tire, you're going to want to use the jacking point right here. You can place the jack right under this piece. If you're jacking the rear tire, you could go right underneath the axle, which is right here. And this jack type will fit right underneath it. Here's the jack that you're going to use. It's just standard floor jack that comes with the vehicle. If you turn it to the right, the jack will go up very slowly. If you turn it to the left, it will go down. Hi, welcome down here. We're going to place this right about here. And then we're going to slowly jack this vehicle up. There we go. Now it's getting too hard to move it with my hand, so I'm gonna switch to the bar. With the thin part that goes in, and then we can use the jack to give us some leverage, okay? Just like that. All right, we only want to go as high as we need. Don't want to go too much higher. So it looks like we have plenty of space underneath that tire to get this out. You can get close up to that. Iron and finish the job that we did earlier by removing the rest of these lug nuts. You might be able to do them by hand. All right, set those out of the way a little bit. And we're going to take off our tire. There you go. And we'll grab our spare tire. All right, this is kind of the tricky part. You don't want to have to pick up a tire and rotate it in the air, so you want to line up these holes with the screws. There you go. Hold it in place. Get the top one and then the bottom one in. Just get them going with your fingers. See, the tire's got a little bit of play. You can move it around. Make sure each one of these is about hand tight. They have little grooves that they fit right into, nice and snug. And we'll come through with the tire iron and we'll turn it to the right to get them just a little tighter before we put them on the ground to do the final tightening. Okay, we do this in a star pattern. Okay, so you go across. All right, those are pretty good. Now, we're gonna slowly let the jack down just enough to get the tire onto the ground so that we can do the final tightening of these lug nuts. All right, the tire is making contact with the ground now. All right, you're gonna have to, put some weight into it to make sure that they're tight, okay? And in a star pattern. And that way they're not going to go anywhere. All right, we're good to go. Now we can finish lowering this to the ground until the jack clears the axle and we could get it completely out of there. All right, that is on the ground now. Yeah, and it's disconnected from the axle. So now I know this vehicle is on its spare tire. I can pull my jack out. All right. One very important thing is you need to put the tire away. Okay? So the tire, you're just going to set it back here. You do not have to put it back on underneath. We will take care of it once you get it back to the station. All right, one very critical thing. Come down here. You have to make sure you wind these back up so that they don't drag on the ground. Now, the one on the right does not wind up unless you put it back on. You see that? So we put that in there like that. Bring that down over it. And then screw this piece back on. Now that that piece is screwed back on, we can use our tire iron. And we're going to turn it to the right this time. And if you go down below, you'll see it lifting up. And this starts to get resistance. We know it's all the way up. That way it doesn't drag on the ground. And that is how you change a spare tire.